Listen carefully. That low, crackling whisper you're hearing in the void, it isn't silence. It's the voice of Saturn. Not music, not imagination, a real signal, radio waves generated by charged particles colliding within a magnetic field so vast it could swallow entire worlds. A sound that has been screaming into space long before humanity ever looked up. For centuries, we called Saturn beautiful, a golden jewel, a perfect ringed planet floating peacefully in the darkness. But the truth is far more disturbing. Saturn doesn't shine because it is peaceful, it shines because it is violent. This planet is a colossal sphere of gas, mostly hydrogen and helium, with no solid surface. If you tried to land, you wouldn't stand, you would fall forever, sinking through layers of crushing pressure, where gas slowly turns into liquid and liquid into something we barely understand. And all of it is moving. Saturn spins so fast, completing a full rotation in just about 10 hours, that it physically distorts itself. The equator bulges outward while the poles flatten. It doesn't look like a perfect sphere. It looks unstable, like something that shouldn't exist, yet does. But what truly defines Saturn is its crown, the rings. From Earth, they appear smooth, elegant, almost artificial in their perfection. Thin lines of light wrapping around the planet like a halo. But that illusion collapses the moment you get closer, because the rings are not solid. They are chaos. Billions, possibly trillions of fragments made of ice, rock, and dust. Some smaller than a grain of sand, others as large as mountains, all orbiting at incredible speeds, tens of thousands of kilometers per hour. Constantly colliding, constantly breaking apart, constantly rebuilding. It's not a structure, it's a storm. A hurricane unlike anything ever seen, wide enough to swallow Earth multiple times, with winds exceeding hundreds of kilometers per hour. And yet, it maintains its geometric precision, decade after decade. Storms are supposed to be chaotic, unpredictable, messy. But this one is controlled, stable, almost designed. At its center lies a massive vortex, a deep, rotating eye plunging into the atmosphere below, a dark spiral that looks less like weather and more like a wound. Something ancient, something watching. And Saturn doesn't just create storms, it unleashes them. Roughly every 30 Earth years, one full orbit of Saturn around the Sun, the planet experiences a global eruption, a storm so massive it wraps around the entire world. We call it the Great White Spot. It begins as a small disturbance, barely visible. Then it grows, rapidly, violently, until it becomes a planet-wide system stretching across tens of thousands of kilometers. Lightning erupts within it, thousands of times more powerful than anything on Earth. Thunderstorms on a scale we can barely comprehend. And for a brief moment, Saturn reveals its true nature. Not calm, not peaceful, but unstable. A giant engine of heat and pressure, constantly building energy beneath its clouds, waiting for the next release. And yet, even this is only the surface, because Saturn is not just a planet, it is a system, a kingdom, with over 100 moons, each one shaped, controlled, and sometimes destroyed by its gravity. Some are small, some are broken, some are hiding secrets we are only beginning to understand. And among them, there is one that stands out, a world that looks eerily familiar. Titan. From a distance, It resembles Earth. Clouds, rain, rivers, lakes, a thick atmosphere denser than our own. At first glance, it feels like home. But it isn't, not even close. Because on Titan, water doesn't exist in liquid form. Instead, rivers flow with methane, lakes are filled with ethane, and rain is liquid natural gas falling slowly through a cold, dense sky. Temperatures drop to nearly -180 degrees Celsius, cold enough to freeze not just water, but the very concept of life as we know it. If you stood there, you wouldn't just feel cold, you would stop functioning. Your body would freeze, your breath would crystallize, and if you touched the surface, it wouldn't feel like sand. Titan's vast dunes are made of hydrocarbons, complex organic particles, essentially frozen plastic. Dark, fine, electrically charged, shifting endlessly in alien winds. A world that looks alive, but is fundamentally hostile to life. A mirror of Earth, built from entirely different rules.
But Titan is not Saturn's most mysterious child. Far beyond its thick orange haze, another world orbits quietly. Small, bright, almost forgotten. Enceladus. At first, it seemed insignificant, just a frozen sphere of ice reflecting sunlight like a mirror. Nothing special, nothing alive. But Saturn never reveals its secrets easily, because Enceladus is not dead. Beneath its frozen surface lies something extraordinary, a global ocean, liquid water hidden under kilometers of ice. And we didn't find it by landing, we found it because the moon was bleeding. At its south pole, long fractures stretch across the surface, deep cracks known as tiger stripes. And from these fractures, something erupts, geysers. Massive jets of water vapor and ice particles blasting hundreds of kilometers into space at incredible speeds. Not slowly, violently, like the moon is trying to release pressure from within. But what could keep water liquid so far from the sun? The answer is Saturn itself. Its gravity doesn't just pull, it squeezes. As Enceladus orbits, Saturn's immense gravitational force stretches and compresses it over and over again. This constant flexing generates heat deep inside the moon, like kneading dough, keeping the ocean beneath the ice from freezing solid. And within those plumes, we found something unexpected. Organic molecules, salt, heat, the essential ingredients for life. Not proof, but possibility. In the dark ocean beneath Enceladus's icy shell, far from sunlight, protected from the vacuum of space, something could exist. Something simple, or something far more complex. We came to Saturn expecting silence, but we may have found a whisper of life. And to uncover all of this, humanity sent a machine, a silent explorer, a witness, Cassini-Huygens. Launched in 1997, it traveled for nearly 7 years before finally arriving at Saturn. And for 13 years, it stayed, orbiting, watching, listening. It mapped the rings in stunning detail, dove between them, measured their thickness, captured the chaos hidden within their beauty. It flew past Titan and released a probe, Huygens, that descended through its thick atmosphere, landing on a surface no human had ever seen. Rivers, channels, frozen shores, a world both alien and hauntingly familiar. Cassini changed everything we thought we knew. It showed us that Saturn is not just a gas giant. It is a system full of active worlds, dynamic, evolving, alive in ways we never expected. But every mission has an end, and Cassini was running out of fuel. This created a problem, because Saturn's moons, especially Enceladus, might host conditions suitable for life. and the last thing scientists wanted was contamination. If Cassini crashed accidentally, it could carry Earth microbes to these pristine worlds. So a decision was made, not to save the spacecraft, but to sacrifice it. In 2017, Cassini was given its final command: dive. It entered Saturn's atmosphere at incredible speed. The pressure increased, the temperature rose, the spacecraft began to break apart. But even then, it didn't stop working. It continued transmitting data back to Earth until the very last second, until the signal vanished. Cassini didn't just study Saturn, it became part of it, consumed by the planet it spent years observing. And yet, even Saturn is not eternal. Those magnificent rings, the ones we admire, photograph, and dream about, they are disappearing slowly, particle by particle. Gravity is pulling them inward, dragging ice and dust down into the planet's atmosphere in a process known as ring rain. A silent collapse, invisible from a distance, but constant. In about 100 million years, a blink in cosmic time, the rings will be gone, the crown will vanish, and Saturn will become ordinary. Just another gas giant, drifting in darkness. No halo, no glory, no illusion. So what we see today is temporary, a moment in time, a cosmic coincidence. We are living in the era where Saturn is at its most beautiful, and we won't be here when that beauty fades. That's the truth about Saturn. It is not peaceful. It is not gentle. It is a system of destruction and creation, of death and possibility, of chaos shaped into something breathtaking. It destroys moons and may hide oceans full of life. It creates storms that defy physics and structures that challenge our understanding of nature. It takes, it gives, it endures, and it changes. So the next time you look up at the night sky and see that soft golden light hanging silently in the darkness, remember this: you are not looking at a symbol of peace, you are looking at a moment, a fragile, temporary masterpiece built from violence, a beautiful illusion that will one day disappear forever. And in that realization, you begin to understand something far greater than Saturn itself. The universe does not care about permanence. It only creates beauty, so it can take it away.